Hey guys! So this week I thought it might be fun to go through a training session that I had with Cheddar on the pedestal and show you how I worked through a bit of an oopsie that we had. So Cheddar has been working on the pedestal pretty comfortably and reliably. He's pretty confident and has been able to completely climb up on the pedestal by himself, as you can see here. He's gotten pretty good at placing his own feet. I'm starting to challenge him a little bit by having him approach the pedestal and step up from different sides. But here is where I probably go wrong, because I'm having him put up his own feet, but I'm not watching closely enough. And so he's actually not centered with his foot, and when he goes to step up, he tips the whole pedestal over. My pedestal is pretty safe, and so it's not that concerning to me if a horse flips it, as long as they're not scared by it. And you can see Cheddar's really confident with the pedestal, and he really doesn't seem that bothered by it. So I take a couple minutes to check to make sure that he's still walking comfortably, and I check his legs to make sure there's no damage there, and I don't expect any because, like I said, my pedestal is pretty safe. And then I bring him back over to see how he feels and tries again. You can see Cheddar is willing to reach out and touch the pedestal, but I actually am having some hard time getting him to want to put his weight back on the pedestal again, because the last time he did it, the whole thing flipped. So now I'm first of all trying to be a little bit more careful and offer some support to hold the pedestal in place, and trying to get him back on the pedestal to build his confidence. You can't see this very clearly because I'm standing in the way to counterweight the pedestal, but this time Cheddar got up on the pedestal, but he didn't get a great foothold and was kind of hanging off the edge of it. So it wasn't a very secure feeling for him, and he pretty much immediately wanted to get down. So this is now when I realize I need to adjust my training strategy a little bit, because Cheddar is having a really hard time getting up on the pedestal confidently with placing his own legs in the right spot. So I need to take a step back in my training and give him a hand. And so if you've watched my pedestal training video, you'll see I break it into multiple steps. And I'm going back a step here, and I'm putting his leg on the pedestal for him, and I'm putting it in a good spot so that way I know that he can comfortably and confidently step up on a very secure foothold. So then we walk back around and I represent him to the pedestal to see if he has retained any of the confidence from that last trip up. And you can actually see he has, and he's able to once again find his own footing on the pedestal and step up and fully bear weight onto the pedestal again. So my next mistake of this session is, looking back on this video, I think Cheddar was starting to get a little bit disengaged right about now, and I want clicker training and trick training to be something fun and exciting for him. So looking back on this, I wish I had stopped after that last successful attempt, but in the moment I got a little bit greedy, and I wanted him to do the right thing one more time just to reassure that he hadn't lost the confidence. But in these clips, I don't really think you see a lack of confidence as much as a lack of interest on his part. And you can also see the expression on his face is somewhat soured. We really would want to see happy and engaged ears on him, and instead we have slightly irritated ears. And I think it's because I'm bothering him by continuing to tap him to try to get him to put his leg up when he's like, I'm bored and I'm done with this. And I can start to notice now that he's lost a little bit of interest, so I'm starting to lower the criteria for what I will accept before I click in reward. So that last time he just reaches out and puts a foot on the pedestal and he doesn't step up or put any weight on it, I still click in reward because I want to praise him for showing interest. So now that I can see that I was losing him, I decide to take him for a little circle to try to reset him and represent him to the pedestal one last time. And thankfully for me, it seems to have worked. He steps up, and once he gets up there, I click in reward, and I let him stand up there and give him a whole bunch of treats. At this point, I know the session is over, so I want to make sure I give him lots of treats to reward him for doing what I wanted, and then I back him off of the pedestal and pick up the pedestal so that we can call it a day. So it's kind of a fun exercise to look back on this raw training session and critique what I would have done differently. It's kind of like watching back videos of yourself riding. It's interesting the things you miss in the moment, but that you can see from a third-person view. So despite the fact that he flipped the entire pedestal at the beginning of the session, my biggest takeaway here was to make sure that I'm keeping my session short, to make sure that he doesn't get mentally or physically frustrated and tired. So that was my training session this week. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. And if you liked this video, be sure to leave a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.